Hi. Oh god, the sun's in the way there. Hopefully that doesn't get in the way too much. So I've been kind of collecting video games now for a decent bit now. I don't know exactly how long, but I basically just wanted to go through my collection and kind of talk about what I have and kind of show off the different stuff and my kind of thoughts and opinions and everything. Because um, it's definitely gotten bigger since like when I really got started doing it, and I feel like I have a lot to say about some of the stuff I have. Here, this is the kind of setup I got going right now in terms of like having the CRT and just having the games on the shelf, and then over here I got like all my consoles lined up. I really need to clean up and move some stuff because basically my plan was to move a lot of the extra stuff that I have over here and move them down here so that I can fit more stuff. And these are all of what I got right now in terms of stuff. There's a couple more that aren't in this exact row that I'll probably get out, but I just want to kind of go over them a bit and show everyone what I got. Okay, so I've kind of set up my phone here so that I can easily show everything. Um, Basically, I'm going to do this in like a couple different parts. Where for this part, I'm just mainly going to focus on my Nintendo stuff and my Sega stuff at the moment, and then kind of go to the other consoles and genres of stuff that I have in other parts, basically. So I'm not going to really do this in any particular order because some of them I have like organized and labeled alphabetically, and some of them I just kind of have thrown in different spots. So I'll kind of just go through this how I see fit. So I'm going to start off here with the NES stuff because that's what I feel like starting with. It's kind of like the main thing with Nintendo. The main games I got are for Nintendo are the three Mario games. Got Mario Bros. 1 and Duck Hunt, which all three of these I've kind of just recently beat as of last year because everyone knows about these games and everyone has played them to some extent. But I didn't necessarily beat them until last year when I played them on my Retron on my CRT because I one thing I don't have is there are a couple of consoles I don't have at the moment. I don't have an actual NES. I use a Retron for NES stuff, and I don't have a PS3, which I'm hoping to kind of get here in a little bit. But yeah, so I went through and played the original Mario Bros. It's definitely, it's the original Mario Bros. It's a classic, and it still plays pretty good, other than the fact that there is no saving because it's on NES. And out of the three NES Mario games, it's definitely my least favorite, but I still really enjoy it. It's a fun game to go through. It can be hard as hell sometimes, but it's still a good time. I haven't played Duck Hunt yet because I don't actually officially own a zapper gun. So I really want to get that to try out Duck Hunt because I've seen Duck Hunt everywhere and haven't really given it a shot yet. And then, Super Mario Brothers 2, of course, the game that isn't actually Super Mario Brothers 2. This was originally, for people who don't know, this is Mario Brothers 2 was originally um, in Japan. It was originally more like the original Mario Brothers, but it was like too hard for like when it came over to America, people thought that it was kind of too hard, and basically they changed it and they took a different game called Doki Doki Panic, a Japanese game, and they turned it into kind of a Mario game. So that's what this is. It still plays fantastic. It still feels like a Mario game, even though it does you can kind of see the remnants of another game, and it is a really fun time. For the longest time, this was my favorite Mario out of the main NES trilogy. But now I think it's kind of gone between that and Super Mario Brothers 3, because Super Mario Brothers 3, which is the next one, is great. It is fantastic. It is such a fun game to play, the different worlds and stuff, and just the different power-ups and the music. Koji Kondo's music is legendary, and it is just a really fun game. See, the thing about it is that since these are my only NES games I have, because I'm kind of in the camp of people who don't really think like the NES library really holds up or is really that fun to play to begin with. But the main ones I always come back to are the Mario trilogy. And Mario Brothers 3 is actually probably the most fun NES game that I've played. Probably my favorite, unless there's one I'm not thinking of necessarily. But in terms of the stuff I have, I love Mario Brothers 3. It's so fun. And I've recently just finally beat all of these now. So it's good to finally have played through till credits. Next system we got, I'm going to do... Alright, so next system we got here is the Super Nintendo, which I have a lot more stuff of here. Let me see here. Let's go with... The first game I actually want to talk about here is Aladdin. We got Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. As a lot of people know, there are two different versions of Aladdin that came out around this time. One was for the Super Nintendo, and one was for the Genesis. And they are very different games in terms of like how they play and how they look and all that. And a lot of people will debate like which one is the better one. Like a gaming enthusiast's favorite question a lot of the time will be which one is better, Super Nintendo or Genesis version. I played both of them. I've only beaten the Super Nintendo one, which I really love. I really enjoy this game. It is really fun to play. Like, it is just a fun 2D platformer. It's not very long at all. You could beat it in like an hour or two if you're just rushing through everything. But just like the Aladdin music and soundtrack put into like a 16 or 8-bit like chip, it sounds really good. And the platforming is very satisfying. It's got a condensed kind of story with like its little cutscenes. And I love the Super Nintendo version of I Can Show You the World on this. It's just, it's really fun to play. It looks great. The sprite art in this game is really beautiful. I prefer it personally over the Genesis art, even though the Genesis animation, I believe, was actually made from actual Disney animators. So, you know, in some ways this looks better, in some ways it looks worse, but I really love this version, and it is really good. It is a really good Super Nintendo game. Next we got Mario Paint. So the thing about some of these games is that I haven't played every single thing in my collection. I have an intention to at some point, or to at least try it. Or I'll just buy it because something looks cool, or it is cool in some way. Mario Paint's kind of a funny one because I haven't played this, but I know Mario Paint, and I know the music for Mario Paint specifically because it's really catchy and really fun to listen to. I know this game, for the time, came out with like a mouse for the Super Nintendo, which is kind of wild to think about. But having given it a shot, I don't know if I ever plan to really give it a shot, but I have it, and I think it's cool just having it in general. So, next one we got a game that I don't know too much about. It's called Super Off-Road, and I believe it's a racing game. I don't know anything about this. I just kind of have it in my collection. Looks like a racing game. It's by Trade West that I'm seeing on the cartridge here. So yeah, got that. Next one, we got obviously Super Mario World, a classic. I love this game. Like Mario Brothers 3, this is just a fun 2D side scroller to go through and just have a good time with. It's got great music. This is the game that Yoshi appeared in first. I remember this game because I didn't grow up with this game, like some of the other Mario games. But I have a lot of nostalgia for this game even before I played it because there was a TV show based on this game, Super Mario World, and we had a DVD copy of that, and I remember watching that so many times and just loving that. And a lot of the sound effects and music from this game was used in that. So whenever I hear those in this, I just get very nostalgic, and that's where I kind of know this from. So Super Mario World, love it, good time. Next we have Street Fighter 2. Great fighting game. As of last year, it was only really last year that I truly would say I got into fighting games a bit more. And Street Fighter 2 is part of the reason for that. I'm pretty sure this is just regular Street Fighter 2. It's not Turbo or anything. But I remember seeing Street Fighter 2 everywhere, and you know, you see fighting games everywhere. And so I decided to get an actual cartridge for the Super Nintendo and played it on my SNES through the CRT. And it was really, really fun. It was really hard at parts, like the last final bosses, like Vega, Bison, and Sagat, fucking were annoying as shit. And to be honest, the only way that I actually beat Bison in the game was by like cheesing it a bit with Honda in like one of his moves. But I still love it. I still had a great time with it. I actually kept my TV on overnight because there's no like save system in this, so I had to keep it on overnight to save my progress until the next morning or night when I would go back and actually beat it. And then afterwards, I ended up buying the 30th anniversary Street Fighter on PC, and I just played through all the other editions of Street Fighter 2, like Street Fighter 2 Champion, Super Street Fighter 2, Turbo, ST, and they're all really fun. I really enjoyed them. This game has definitely got me into all the other ones. Like recently, I think in terms of other fighting games I played, I played Street Fighter Alpha. I played Street Fighter 6. I played Darkstalkers, which is really fun, except for it's fucking hard because the AI in that game is bullshit. And it's also so in this game because it's very faithful to the arcade game. But I'm just really glad I have it. It's so fun. And to be honest, I'll probably pop it in at some point here soon. And then the last Super Nintendo game we got is Final Fantasy 3 or 6, if you're in the know of how it is, because this says Final Fantasy 3, and this was Final Fantasy 3 for us, but it was actually Final Fantasy 6 because we never got 2, 3, and 5. Because Final Fantasy 2 for us was actually Final Fantasy 4, same way this is 6. I have a weird kind of relationship with Final Fantasy 6 because I beat this at the start of the year, like around January. It was one of the first games I beat, if not the first game. And it with Final Fantasy, I'd really gotten into the series and like really played like as many of them or tried as many of them as I can. I beat 7, 10, and 7 like remakes and all that before I ended up playing this one. And I wanted to play this one for the longest time because this is the one that you hear everyone talk about, like in terms of the best Final Fantasy or like the best JRPG or hell, even the best game of all time. It's Final Fantasy VI that normally comes up because, you know, it revolutionized storytelling, had great characters, and, you know, addicting gameplay. So I got a copy for this. I want to say that the first copy I got of this for the Super Nintendo, because I could have played this via Pixel Remaster, but I wanted like the actual version of it. So the first version of Final Fantasy VI that I got was a reproduction cartridge because I think at the time, kind of like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI was going for insane amounts for Super Nintendo. I don't think, definitely not as much as Chrono Trigger, but it was still up there a little bit for real copies. But I found a real copy for like $60. That was just like, fuck it. And so I sold the reproduction and got this. And it's definitely a weird one for me because there are a lot of things I do like about this game and that I really love, and a lot of things I don't like. Like, a lot of things in this game annoyed the hell out of me in terms of like certain systems and like trying to figure out where to go and certain parts of the story. And then there's other things I really love about it. Like the opera scene is really cool. I love the music in it as well. It's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as 7s or 10s, but you know, that's, you know, different opinions on that one. And I love the final boss fight. You know, even though I had a really miserable time with that end tower going through that, the final boss with Kefka and his like different forms, like different phases was so cool, even though it took me so many attempts to do. Like that final song, Dancing Mad, amazing. Like Nobuo Uematsu, his music is legendary, especially with Final Fantasy, but that song specifically, great. Like, especially for the Super Nintendo. It's like a 17-minute song. It's like something you would see in like an orchestra. It is beautiful. And like that fight, it puts you in a certain mood. Definitely, oh god, I'm dropping things. Definitely recommend someone like see the final boss for this, if you don't plan on playing it. If you do plan on playing it, go through the game, get your opinions on it, and see what you think. But yeah, that's my kind of feelings with Final Fantasy VI. It's not my favorite by a long shot, but I'm glad I went through it finally. And that's all for Super Nintendo stuff. I guess now we can go on to N64 stuff. N64 stuff here. There's a lot of N64 games that I don't really play N64 like I do the other systems, at least not as frequently. There are still games on here I mean to play, but there are a lot that I kind of forget that I have. So this will be interesting to kind of go through. Of course, at the top, you know, Super Mario 64. What really is there to say about it? It is a classic, of course. revolutionized 3D games with the whole sticks and everything. And it's a fun game to go back to. Like, this isn't the Mario game that I grew up with, but playing it years later, it felt like it. It's just it controls so effortlessly for being one of the like true 3D 360 games, like 360 motion. It controls really well. It's just fun to go through. Music in this is phenomenal, of course, again. Um, and it's just a good time to go through. Not really much else to say. It's just Mario 64. Uh, Next, we have Turok 1 and 2. I have not played the Turok series, but I do have them. Turok is kind of like where I kind of put in terms of like big FPS games that were on N64, at least the ones where people remember. Because I don't think of first-person shooters when I think of N64. Mainly think GoldenEye and Turok. But it's definitely a series I might go. I kind of might try at some point. It definitely has me kind of interested. And if I want to play them, I have Turok 1 and 2 right here. Next is a game called Vigilante 8, which I also don't know much about, but I've heard my uncles talk really good about this game, saying it was really fun. It's got like a school bus on the front. It's kind of giving Big Rigs energy on the front, and I think that's kind of funny. It's by Activision, so I don't really know too much about this. May give it a shot at some point, who knows? But yeah, Vigilante 8. Next here is one I don't know too much about. Winback Covert Operations, which is, I don't know, it's kind of giving Resident Evil 2 a little bit from the cover of it, but I don't know a single thing about this. I think this might have been released for NSO. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I have no clue what this is, so I can't really say much about it. Here we go. Okay, so here's the funny thing about it. Where's the other copy? Here it is. Okay, so 2 copies of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And that's because this isn't a real copy. I believe this is a reproduction cartridge that I got and just forgot to sell again because I forget if I thought this was a real one or not. I don't know what it was. But Ocarina of Time, I got the gold cartridge too. I'm that cool. Ocarina of Time is... I have a similar sentiment to this that I do with Final Fantasy VI. And that's already kind of a bad start based on what I said about 6, but there are a lot of things about this game that I love and a lot of things that I just do not like and just don't care about. Because, like, the controls in this game, like, you'll have people that say it doesn't age and you'll have people that say it does. For me, they didn't always work. Some of the difficulty with, like, trying to figure out where to go and all that was kind of frustrating. And there was a lot of points in this that just were kind of a slog to go through, especially the water temple. Anyone knows the fucking water temple. If you have played that, you have definitely experienced what it's like to go to hell. But the thing about it is that I can't fully, the thing about like Final Fantasy VI, I can't fully like hate on it or not like it because there's parts about this game that I still really love, like the atmosphere of it and like just how charming the old 3D models are and the music. The best thing I got about this game for me was the music. I loved the soundtrack in this game. It's probably one of my favorite N64 soundtracks and Zelda soundtracks. It is a soundtrack I constantly go back to listen, like the Lost Woods theme and Sheik's theme and Zelda's Lullaby. It is just so good. And I think all of it kind of comes together, like the graphics and the music, it kind of comes together to make a game that feels weirdly nostalgic because I didn't grow up with this game, but it feels so nostalgic. And I don't know, like for someone in 1998 who played this game as a kid and then later heard music from this, I can weirdly see how you would be nostalgic for this because there's such a charm and feeling to it that just makes me kind of happy, even though obviously there were parts in it that I didn't like. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed relationship with this game, but overall, I think I'm pretty happy with it. And I definitely think people should give it a try if they're ever thinking about trying Ocarina of Time. I haven't played Majora's Mask, which is ironic because Majora's Mask was the one I wanted to play. And so I played Ocarina of Time to play Majora's Mask, and I ended up playing Ocarina of Time and didn't end up playing Majora's Mask. I played through a bit of Majora's Mask, but... I don't know. It's a very different game
which I like about it, but I just needed to sit through it more, I guess, to really get into it. Because I think the main thing that got me into wanting to play Majora's Mask was the moon, the creepy ass moon, and the whole like song that plays like when everything is like about to die. It's like so creepy and haunting. People know what it is, what I'm talking about if you've heard of it. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. I haven't played too many Zelda games other than that. I'm pretty sure that's the first one I actually beat. So I've definitely dabbled in a couple of them. Anyway, Yoshi's Story. I don't really have much to say about this. I've seen Yoshi's Story. It's never really a game I told myself I was ever going to really beat, but I definitely have it in case I want to go back and give it a shot. But just like a standard 2D platformer kind of, and I have it. Pokemon Stadium, also another one I really don't have too much desire to go back for. But I think this is cool just for the fact of how it must have been back then to see like your favorite like Pokemon in 3D and like with color and all that. And I think that's just kind of cool with this on its own. Like you just fight other Pokemon, other stuff. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do in this game that I don't remember. But yeah, Pokemon Stadium. What do we got? We got Quake 2. I played the original Quake. I never finished it, but it was a good game. It was fun for what it was. I never really thought about going to Quake 2, but I kind of like that I have this because this seems like one I will probably go to. First person shooter on the N64. It's probably not as good as the other ports of Quake, but I like that I have it. Here we go. Resident Evil 2 for the N64. I have not beaten Resident Evil 2. I've dabbled in pretty much most of the games for the Resident Evil series. It's one of my favorite. But Resident Evil 2, the original, is one I have not actually beat. I've beaten the remake, but I haven't beaten the original. But the thing about it is that I constantly keep going back to this one because, like, it's really fun. Like, for the style it was, this is a really fun horror game. And just the setting and the music in this is really good. I really loved the front hall theme and obviously the save room theme, classic. But it's just one I've never really like stuck with, even though I really enjoy it every single time I play it. But it's definitely one I need to sit down with and kind of go through finally. So yeah, that's Resident Evil 2. We got the yellow Donkey Kong 64 cartridge. I was literally just talking about this earlier because as the time I'm recording this, a new 3D Donkey Kong game just got announced, which is really cool to think about because it's been like 2 decades since, Donkey Kong 64. And, everyone knows this game for its like problems nowadays where it's like it is a collectathon. It can be very tedious and there's a decent bit of backtracking. But for what it was at the time, I think it's really cool. Another Rare game before Rare kind of got bought out by Microsoft and wouldn't really do too much other than like Sea of Thieves and Viva Pinata and a couple others. But it's definitely one that I'll probably give a shot to kind of see what it is and get my own opinion on it. But I've definitely heard a couple stuff about it that isn't too great. But one thing I will say about this game gave us the DK rap. And because of that, it's the best game of all time. Next, we got Tony Hawk Pro Skater for the N64. I honestly didn't know for the longest time this was even on the N64. But I've recently kind of gotten into the Tony Hawk games with like one, and because I didn't really know like what the hype was about it, because you hear people from like the 90s talk about Tony Hawk and like, oh, it's so fun, and I kind of wanted to give it a shot. I didn't play the N64 version, but I played the PS1 version of it, and it is really fun. I could definitely see it like doing tricks, and it's just a very satisfying game to play. So I definitely have the N64 copy if I want to give that a shot. I definitely want to go back into this one more to kind of play more Tony Hawk because it is definitely a good time. Next we have a game I don't really know too much about, Forsaken 64. It kind of looks like a horror game. The art on it looks really cool, but I don't know anything about it other than the name, and I guess Acclaim published it or something, because it says Acclaim on here. It's M-rated, which, that was different for N64 games. Nintendo was trying to get away from that family-friendly image just a bit there to kind of appeal to a wider audience. Again, I have no clue what this game is about, but it looks really cool. Next we have GoldenEye 007, a classic, kind of revolutionized like FPS games, first-person shooters on home console with a stick, and different aspects, like shooting different parts of the body and having them do different damages and all that. And also the local multiplayer. People love this game for the multiplayer. The thing you'll hear people talk about this with now, and I agree because I've tried it, is this game does not really hold up too well because of the controls. The controls in this game are pretty ass. And I think that's pretty much the only thing that's really holding this game back nowadays, because you go back to it and it's just like I feel like I can barely play this. They kind of re-released it a bit with Nintendo and Xbox kind of came together and decided to like kind of re-release it, and Nintendo has it on their NSO subscription and Xbox has it on their cloud Game Pass kind of thing, I believe, or something like that. And both versions kind of have their problems because N64 is the only one that has online, but it has the worst controls, and the Xbox One has no online, but it has better controls. So it's a weird thing where GoldenEye fully hasn't come back just yet, but it's a classic and people remember it for that. So next is honestly one I forgot I had, Killer Instinct Gold. I have recently played Killer Instinct after going through a bunch of fighting games after Street Fighter. And Killer Instinct KI was definitely one that I tried on the Super Nintendo, and it's got a cool style. It's pretty fun. I never beat it because fighting games can just be kind of hard, and I never really stuck with that one. But it's really good to know that I just have KI Gold to play it. I don't know what the consensus is of this version for N64, but I like that knowing that I have it and I can just play it if I feel like playing some KI. So that's nice. Another one I don't really have much opinion on, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. I never really had any desire at all, like Yoshi's Story, to play this, but I have it if I really feel like playing it. 2D Kirby, 3D kind of, well, it's 3D, but on a 2D plane. Kirby 64. Mario Kart 64, of course. This was not the Mario Kart that I grew up with. I mainly grew up with Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart DS, and Mario Kart 8 for Wii U. But definitely going back to Mario 64, it's definitely still, it feels really fun to play. It definitely feels a lot better than Super Mario Kart does to play. I don't know if that's controversial or not on Super Nintendo, but Super Mario 64 is really fun to play, especially with people, and it's just a good time. From good old-fashioned nostalgia, good music too. I forget. No, I was thinking of Yoko Shimomura. No, I'm pretty sure she made I might have said her whole name wrong. She made the Super Nintendo soundtrack for Mario Kart. I don't know if she made this game soundtrack. I don't remember. But good time, Mario Kart 64. And then the final final Nintendo 64 game is Pokemon Snap. I definitely have seen this game kind of come back a bit with the new one, with new Pokemon Snap, and people kind of reliving the nostalgia. And I feel like this is probably a Pokemon game I could probably get into a bit more, because I kind of fell out of Pokemon for a bit there, until like coming back with like Pokemon Sword, and even then I thought that was all right, even after beating it. But Pokemon Snap I feel like I'd have a good time with, because you're just taking picture of Pokemon and just kind of like, I think this has like a railway system where it's like on rails, and I feel like it would be a fun time. So I like knowing that I have it. A lot of these is the kind of case where, like, even if I haven't played them right away, just knowing that I have them and can pop them in whenever and don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy them, because some of these prices are crazy, it is just really good to have. So yeah, that's all of the N64 collection. Okay, so yeah, that's all of my N64 collection. Let me think here. Let's move it over to GameCube then. We'll go over with GameCube next. This is a library I don't have a lot for because, as everyone knows, GameCube games can be fucking hella expensive as of now because, people are getting to the age where they're starting to get nostalgic for them again. And also the fact that a lot of GameCube games aren't available on older systems, which is another funny thing. Also, like the new 3D Donkey Kong that got announced, it got announced that GameCube games are coming to Nintendo Switch too. Via NSO, I believe. So I was so excited about that, so happy about that, because there are a lot of GameCube games that I want to play that I just don't have, basically. But first GameCube game I have, Luigi's Mansion. I'm so happy I have this because I'm pretty sure this has definitely gone up in value as of late, and I just like it that I've had this. I've had this for the longest time now. I love Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. I love its vibe. It's like, it's still cartoony, but has like an eerie kind of aura to it. Especially with a lot of the creepypastas that this game has spawned and the different stories and myths. Um, it's just a really good time. I remember getting really. I have a lot of nostalgia for this because I remember seeing a specific YouTube channel play this a lot. Uh, yeah, I think it was Ninbuzz or something. I forget exactly who it was, but I would watch them play this game a lot. And actually playing it myself, it's just such a good time. I love the creepy, haunting music of it. Um, it's so good. It's such a good time. I honestly would love it to see a Luigi's Mansion 4 for the Switch 2 at some point because I just love the series. I definitely think that I have a lot of nostalgia for Dark Moon as well, even though a lot of people have an opinion on Dark Moon because it's not like the same style as this. But I played it when I was younger, and I remember like just having good memories with it. So I played that, and that was also really good as well. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion GameCube, fantastic game. Glad I own it. One of the GameCube games that I don't have a physical for, but I do have the disc because I had well, not the physical. I had Super Mario Sunshine. Super Mario Sunshine is another one I'm going to talk about, but I had the case for it, but for some reason it got lost. I still have the disc for it, but I need to get a new case for it. But Super Mario Sunshine, that's the one that's like that and Mario Galaxy are the two Mario games that I grew up with. And I know Mario Sunshine isn't everyone's favorite Mario game, but I kind of grew up with it, and I love to fucking stuttering. That's how much I love the game. I love that game to death. It has so much to just do and see. I have so much nostalgia for it. I love the music in that game. The Piantas are really cool. Shadow Mario, first game Bowser Jr. came in. And it's one of the few games where I've actually like 100% like beat. Like I played everything in that game. There's not like a specific thing that tells you did it, but I've done everything in that game you can possibly do. And I love that game so much that I constantly go back to that one. Then next for GameCube, I got Mario Kart Double Dash. So this isn't a Mario Kart game that I grew up with. Like I said, mine was Wii, kind of the Wii series of Mario Kart games. But this is one that I've come to love in recent memory because of the fact that I've played this co-op like with my sister, and we've had such a blast with this, just playing this on GameCube split screen, just trying to unlock the different characters and modes and different settings. It has been a blast to play. The kind of like dual aspect of it has been just really fun to go through. It's got so much like charm and personality. It's just a blast to go through. And with the new Mario Kart World now, as it's being called, coming out, it does make me look on this and like get really excited for the new one. So yeah, Mario Kart Double Dash. Then next we have Metroid Prime. This is one of the more recent GameCube games I've bought because for the longest, Metroid Prime is a game that I've wanted to play for the longest time. I never really got into the Metroid series. I thought it was interesting when I was younger. My main introduction to it was Super Smash Bros. With Smash Bros. Brawl. And I was like, who is this girl? Like with Samus and like all the different like things and like Ridley and the soundtrack. The soundtrack I'm really nostalgic for just because of Smash Bros. Brawl. And it's a game I've constantly gone back to, kind of like Resident Evil 2, but just never have like fully beaten. And I really need to beat this game, especially with Metroid Prime 4 coming out for both Switch and Switch 2. I think the last time I've gone through this like 3 different times, I think, and on the third time I think I got lost somewhere, and for some reason my dumbass didn't just look up where to go, and I just stopped playing. But now that I have an actual copy of it, I'm hoping to play it on the GameCube and all that and just have a good time, because I haven't played too many games on the CRT as of late because I had an issue with it for the longest time because the TV was very low, like it was very dark and had like low brightness, and it was really hard to see games sometimes. So I'd mainly only play stuff that like I'd already played and knew about, and I actually had to get I'd actually buy, oh no, it's all the way over there. I had to actually buy a CRT remote for that specific model, which was a bitch to find because I couldn't figure out what model this was. And I literally had to grab a whole separate TV remote with batteries and just turn on the brightness that way. So now that I have like the brightness actually turned up, I'm hoping to actually get back to some of these. And I think it'll be a good time. Next one is a weird one. NASCAR Thunder 2003. a racing game by EA Sports. I don't really have too much nostalgia with this. I played this like a couple times with my cousin. I remember. I remember the music specifically, going around in circles, yeah, or something like that. And we had some good fun with this for a little bit, just racing around in cars. I should probably go back to this one because I'm kind of curious about this one now. But yeah, random racing game for the GameCube. And then the final one we have is SpongeBob SquarePants Creature from the Krusty Krab. Surprisingly, one I didn't play when I was younger. I think I got this. I forget where I got this exactly. But I remember seeing this game. I've seen this game a couple times. I think Scott the Woz is where I mainly saw this game from. Where I never really played it. Never really had much desire to play it. But it looks like a fun enough SpongeBob game. I know THQ was kind of like putting out like SpongeBob games like pretty annually. Like they tried putting out as many of them as they could from like the start of 2000 to like early 2010. They were kind of going through with these. But yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay, before I go on to Wii stuff, I want to actually backtrack over here a little bit because I forgot I do have some DS stuff here. I don't have too many DS games, and the ones I do have, like the ones I do have, I kind of just keep in this little thing here and just kind of keep them as regular like cards. But 3 I do have boxes for. I have 1 DS game and 2 3DS games. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Starting with DS, in terms of the one box I have, it's Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Swamp. I think I asked for this for like my last birthday because I remember playing this when I was younger and I kind of wanted to relive it a bit because I remember not knowing like how to do anything in this game. I don't even remember if I beat it. I think I've definitely seen what the ending is, but I don't know if I beat it. But it's definitely one I kind of felt nostalgic for a little bit. So my mom got it for me for my birthday. I've played it a little bit since then. I didn't really fully go back through it because, you know, I kind of realized like what the game was and just kind of didn't really have much desire to play it all the way through it. But it's cool that I have a physical of it now and that I have any physical for it because DS games are ones I don't really try to collect in box because like their cases are kind of small and they feel more substantial than something like a 3DS's case, but they're not really something I try to go for. So if I try to get or collect a DS game, it's normally just without the case. But in terms of the regular DS games I have just the cards for, I do have a couple of them. I wish I had more. I think I sold a lot of the ones when I was younger because the DS was the first like game system I owned, so I had a lot of old games for those. And I really, back then, before I really got into other games, I really only played Mario games, random third-party license games, and that was about it. Maybe some Sonic sprinkled in there. Yeah, here, in terms of DS games, we have Pokemon White. One of the only, I'm pretty sure is one of the only couple like mainline Pokemon games I actually own. This is one I kind of remember a little bit on, just randomly playing this on the DS while I was just out at like school or something. And it's definitely not one I've gone through and like fully beat, but because to be honest, this generation and region of Pokemon isn't really my favorite. But I definitely remember going through like the intro to this a couple times. It's one I kind of want to go back to, even though I don't really like this generation of Pokemon because I've kind of had an itch for Pokemon as of late, and I don't really have that kind of money to buy like something like Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is the one I want to play because I've heard that kind of like evolves the Pokemon formula a little bit. But yeah, Pokemon White. I know Pokemon games have also kind of gone up in rarity and pricing as of late because, you know, people want those collectors, people want to play them again. And there's not really an easy way to play older generations of Pokemon unless they get remade. So yeah. Next one is Mario Party DS. I played this when I was younger. I loved it. This was like Mario Party 8 and 9 were like the Mario Party games that I really played a lot of, like on the Wii and DS. And this one I loved just having portably. I played this everywhere, going through the story mode, through the different mini games, collecting the different stuff, and to be honest, it's probably one of my favorite Mario parties just based on nostalgia alone. And I sold it and recently bought like, well, not recently, about like a year or so ago, less than a year. I bought another copy of it because I just wanted to experience it again. And this one I did actually go through again and just redo all the story mode and had a blast with it. So much memory, so many memories, so much nostalgia. Great game. Then we got Mario Hoops 3-on-3. This was another game that I think I played a couple times on the bus, just randomly. Have a couple different memories of like the soundtrack, and that's about it. Don't really have much to say about it. Then we got Yoshi's Island for the DS. I believe this isn't even actually my cartridge. I had a copy of Yoshi's Island DS, and I think someone else had it. And I'm pretty sure this is theirs because I lost mine, and I don't know if I ever remembered to give it back to them. So I kind of just have that now. It was Yoshi's Island DS was a fun time. I've gone back and played the original Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo, and to be honest, I like that more because I don't really have too many memories with this one. But it's just cool to have, and yeah. And then the last DS title I have is New Super Mario Brothers DS. Alongside Mario Party DS, this is definitely higher than that one, but I played this game to death in terms of playtime. I played this everywhere. I played the different like stuff and different games in this. It's just this was the first. I don't think this was the first game I played ever. First game I ever played, but it's definitely the first one I remember playing when I think back to games, and it's just so much. It was a lot of fun. It's definitely like pretty simple when you go back to it now, but I just had a lot of good memories with this, with the big power up and just going through it, and Dry Bowser and the soundtrack in this. It's so good. This is definitely one of my favorite DS games, that and Mario Party DS. And yeah. And then moving on to 3DS stuff, I have two of my box copies. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Like I was saying, I have a lot of nostalgia for this one. Like the Luigi's Mansion GameCube, because I watched a playthrough of this and remember playing this a lot on my DS. I remember taking pictures of it randomly. I watched Zach Scott Games, if anyone knows who that is, play this a lot. And it was just, I love the music in this. The music is so good. It's got that kind of creepy atmosphere. It's different from Luigi's Mansions, but it's still like really, really solid. I really love it. I listen to this constantly. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. And then Majora's Mask 3D. I know I was talking about Majora's Mask, and when I say I tried Majora's Mask, I tried the N64 version, and I tried the DS version. I haven't really stuck them with either of those. But if I would play any of those, like try to go through any of them, I'd probably go through Majora's Mask 3D, because this one has like better controls, better graphics, some quality of life features. And it's definitely one I want to hop back into, because I really want to try to like Majora's Mask, because it's the one you hear about everywhere. And it's always up in discussions. It's like some of the best Zelda, some people's favorite Zelda titles are the best ones. So it's one I need to get to for sure. Yeah. And then that is about it for that. I guess also, while we're here, before I even move on to Wii, I'll kind of move on to the other handheld stuff I have, like Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, just to kind of go through these. However, I don't expect to have a lot to say about these, because I either haven't played them or they're just random titles. So, yeah. So, I'll kind of just go through these a little bit here. So, Game Boy games. We got Mickey's Dangerous Chase. Have not played it. Don't know anything about this. But the art looks pretty dope. Then we got DuckTales for Game Boy. Never played this, but I know DuckTales for NES, because that's the one people think about, and that's the one I remember like the moon theme from and all that. So, I assume this is kind of just that, but just like a bit dumbed down version of it for portable. So that's kind of cool, actually. Then we got Amazing Penguin. Never heard about this since I saw it. It kind of looks like that one... Wait, who made this? Does it say anywhere who made this? I don't think so. Because I know that Kojima... I know Kojima worked on like some type of Penguin game before he worked on the Metal Gear series. I don't think this is that. But it kind of reminds me of that at the very least. Then we got a game that I've for sure as hell never heard of before. Q-Bilio, the puzzle game to choose. It's got rats and cheese on it and makes me think of Germa. That's about it. Dr. Mario for the Game Boy. I haven't played this version of Dr. Mario, but I have played Dr. Mario for like NES in recent years, and it's definitely really fun. It's a good time. I don't think it's as good as like something like Tetris or Luminous, but it is a good time if you're trying to look for that little bit of puzzle game. And yeah, uh, we got a Game Boy Color game. I think this was my uncle's because it says their initials on it. Commander Keen, which I didn't even know that there was a Commander Keen for the Game Boy. But that is cool to know that that was the case. I should probably ask them about. I should probably ask my uncle about this because I am kind of curious now. Activision published this, which is kind of funny. I don't know if id made this or if this was. It says id, so I assume they did make it. I didn't know if they licensed it out or whatever. Next we have Barbie. Don't know anything about this game. Moving on. Then we got Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land. This is actually one I want to try playing because I haven't fully played a Wario game. I think I tried a bit of Wario World for the GameCube, but that was about it. So I kind of want to see towards like when Wario kind of got his start. And also because I do like Super Mario Land, as we'll come up to see here. So yeah, I would definitely actually check this one out compared to some of the other ones I have because, you know, it's a Nintendo game. Most of the other ones are, you know, they're their own thing. What's this? We got Tasmania for Game Boy. It's got Sunsoft on it, Sunsoft logo. I don't know anything about this except for the fact that I think I've heard one of the songs from this game or the Game Gear version of this game or something like that, and I was like, oh shit, that's kind of rough. But Tasmania, I got it. Then we got Mortal Kombat for the Game Boy. I got this from a friend of mine. I forget if they. I was gonna try buying it from her. I forget if I ended up buying it from her or if she gave it to me, just out of kindness. But either way, thank her for that. I appreciate her for that. I forget if she gave this to me because of. I forget if I was gonna buy this off her or if she just ended up giving it to me. But I thank her for it because I really appreciate her for that because it's just cool to kind of have a Mortal Kombat game. I don't have any other Mortal Kombat games physically, and even though this is the Game Boy game one, and I've definitely tried it, and it kind of sucks ass, it's just kind of cool to just have any version of Mortal Kombat. So thank you, Sonny. I appreciate you for that. And then the final Game Boy game I have, Super Mario Land. This is easily the one I've played the most and have the most affinity for. I believe my mom had a copy of Super Mario Land. I don't know if this is hers or if this is a different one. I think this is hers. But she had a copy of Super Mario Land, and I remember seeing random bits of it online, and I remember this game a lot for the music because I have a lot of nostalgia for this game's soundtrack being put like everywhere on YouTube or just in certain parts, like the Muda theme and dun 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 dun, and I just remember that a lot. And I think like last year I finally just like went through it and decided to play it because I got an actual Game Boy. So I played it like on an actual Game Boy system with like the fucking green ass coloring, and it was so fun. I played it like it's not a hard game at all, but you could be in like less than an hour, like 30-40 minutes. But I beat it like 2 more times after I beat it, and there was just something about it that just, I don't know, it just made me really happy to play. It was really fun, and especially for an older game like this. And I was really happy I experienced it. So yeah, Super Mario Land. I played a bit of Mario Land 2, but I didn't really like it as much compared to this. And then obviously I need to play Super Mario Land 3. Okay, so that's all Game Boy stuff. Now we have Game Boy Advance titles. I've never played these, and I'm pretty sure these were mainly my uncle's, so I'll just kind of go through them a little bit here. Open season for the Game Boy Advanced. Power Rangers Dino Thunder, Madagascar, and Rugrats. Oh, but I'm pretty sure I'm missing one as well. Oh yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. This is the one I did actually. I played a little bit of this, and it was, you know, it was a SpongeBob game. It was a 2D platformer. But yeah, that is all in terms of handheld stuff. All right. Next up is the Wii. So a lot of my old Wii games I don't actually really have anymore, because I ended up selling them when I was younger because it was the main way I kind of got like money to get new games, was just selling my old ones at like yard sales and all that. So I kind of don't have as many, but I've tried like recollecting my Wii games. I'm really sad though because Wii games have definitely gone up in value as of late, especially the Mario Party ones. I really wanted to get Mario Party 8 and 9 again, but they are like going for about what they sold back when they came out, and it is wild. Anyway, first Wii game, we got Carnival Games. The game probably everyone bought thinking it was going to be like Wii Sports kind of. I never played this. I remember seeing it go around a lot whenever I would try to find games like Wii Sports. I never played it, but I'm glad I have it now. And it just seems like from what I've heard, it's less than what like the people know it for. Like a lot of people know this game, but it's like not as hype as you would think. It is Carnival Games. It is exactly what it says it is. So yeah. Next one, we got New Play Control Pikmin for the Wii. I played Pikmin 1. I really like Pikmin 1. I remember just going through it for the GameCube originally. It's a very chill kind of vibe. Well, it's kind of chill, but kind of not. It's like a mix. It's not Animal Crossing level of chill, but it's not it's not like Doom levels of like chaos and frustration, depending on who you are. But definitely, I haven't really played too much of the New Play Control version because I know this version adds Wii support, like Wii Remote controller support, and I know a lot of people prefer that because of like Pikmin controlling really well on the Wii Remote. But I remember I played it on like the GameCube kind of controller setup, and I like that I have an actual version of Pikmin because I don't feel like I need to get a GameCube version of Pikmin 1 since I have the Wii version. So that's really nice. The next up we got Rayman Origins. I've never really thought too much about Rayman Origins. The main one, I always thought if I was going to play a Rayman game, it was either going to be the original one or Rayman Legends. But Rayman Origins is kind of one that I got, and it was just like, I'll kind of, if I'm feeling Rayman and don't have either of those two titles, then I'll go through with this one. You know, because this kind of brought back like 2D platforming like a little bit, along with Nintendo. They were kind of bringing back 2D platforming a bit on the Wii. So yeah, Rayman Origins. Don't really have too much to say on that one, but I'm glad I have it and can play whenever. Now here we go. Super Mario Galaxy. So I got Super Mario Galaxy. I remember I got it on my 8th birthday, and it was just magical. Like this game was just a magical game for me. Just getting it, playing through it, and everything. And I'm really sad too because I sold my original copy of Super Mario Galaxy, and I made sure to grab specifically the Nintendo Selects label one because that's the one that I got on my birthday. And I love this game a lot. Just everything about it, the atmosphere, the environments, the music, the Rosalina, the Lumas, all that. Like listening to this music again, some of it makes me cry because of how like beautiful and nostalgic it is for me. Like the Luma theme, and oh man, I really love this game a lot. I have a lot of different memories for it. I haven't gone back to it as much as I do like Sunshine. Like Super Mario Sunshine, I've gone back to a couple different times and played it through a decent bit. But Mario Galaxy isn't one that I've gone back to as much, and it really saddens me. I think it's mainly because of the motion controls now. I haven't gone back to it as much. I know they did a re-release for it with Super Mario All-Stars for Switch, so you have like button controls and analog sticks now. But it's a shame. It's one I really need to like really sit down and go back with more because I love this game so much, and I would love to try the 100% completing this one. So yeah, Super Mario Galaxy, fantastic game. Next we got Trauma Center Second Opinion. There's a lot of people who probably won't even know what Trauma Center is, with a lot of these other names I've mentioned, but Trauma Center specifically because it's kind of a niche thing that was like on GameCube, or not GameCube, it was on DS and Wii. And it's a series that I've always been kind of interested in and wanted to try. And I got this version, which is basically, I believe Second Opinion is like a remake of the original one on DS. So I got this for a pretty good deal and have been excited to try it out. Haven't tried it out, of course, yet, of course. All these games I haven't played, even though I have them. But I'm really excited to try this at some point, and I'm just really glad to have it and just be able to pop it into the Wii whenever I want. Motion controls are definitely a harder thing for me to go back to, but they kind of have their merit. So yeah. Anyway, next two I'm gonna kind of group up together here because I can. We Play and We Fit Plus. Now we Play is a fun one because I played the hell out of Wii Sports like many people did back when I was younger, and I love it. It's so fun even to go back to now. Um, but We Play is one that I found out later on when I was way older. How this was like, it was in like a line. It was in like a series of games called the Wii games, like We Play, We Motion Plus, Wii Music, We Party, We Fit, all that. And I didn't know about them. Or maybe I knew about We Play a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But it's one that, like, looking back on it, it looks like more Wii Sports with different like mini games and all that, and it looked really fun. And so I got it. I haven't played it, but it's just a fun little collection that I can kind of sit down with whenever I'm feeling like it and just be like, oh, I'll play some Wii mini games. I'm feeling some Wii stuff. Do some Wii stuff. I think this came bundled in with a Wii controller at the time, or it was a Wii controller plus this, something like that. But I like having it because I love Wii Sports and that kind of series. And then we have Wii Fit Plus. I believe this game, if I believe it, yeah, it even says right here, requires Wii balance board. I don't actually own a balance board to play this, but I just like having this because I was like, you know what? If I'm going to exercise, I'm going to at least have a bit of fun or kind of incorporate into a game while doing it. So I picked this up thinking that I'd kind of just try exercising with it and all that, but obviously I don't have the Wii board, so I can't try it out. But I like just having it be like, you know what, if I'm going to do a binge workout session, why not make it a bit fun? Anyway, now on to the Wii U library, which is also one that I've had a couple more games for it and just don't have anymore. But I got most of the main ones that I would really care about. There are still a couple that I want to try to get. First off, we got Minecraft for the Wii U, Minecraft Wii U edition. This is a fascinating one for me because I love Minecraft like as many people my age do. I played it a lot on the Wii U specifically. I know a lot of people played it. I dabbled in it a bit with like PS4, PS3, and the 360 versions, and I have the Nintendo Switch version, the old and the new one. And I just have a lot of nostalgia for this one because this is kind of the game that got me into online gaming, which is kind of funny. Because playing this online with the Wii U and playing like the different modes in this that are like specific to the legacy versions of Minecraft on console, like battle mode and spleef and all that, they were just really fun to go through. Which, it was just like little mini games, or like battle mode was like basically Hunger Games, but like lower scaled and on console. It makes me so sad that the Wii U services have been turned offline because before they were turned off, I made sure to go back and play this like online with a friend of mine, and it was really fun. I'm really sad that the Wii U online service is gone, especially because like the newer versions of Minecraft don't really have the exact like thing as this do. They have way more options in terms of like online games with other people, but the specific charm of the legacy versions and the mini games and like just playing these with friends and making different worlds and stuff. People griefing my worlds, me griefing people's worlds. I was a dick when I was younger. But it's just one I won't ever forget this. I have a lot of nostalgia and passion for this one, and I've met a lot of like friends that I talk to like nowadays through this game, and I don't know. I just really appreciate this for what it did for me. And obviously, I've played like other versions of Minecraft, but this was the one that really did it for me because I didn't have like a 360 or PS3 at the time. So yeah. Then next we got Paper Mario Color Splash. I think I'm like halfway through this game or something around then. I had this when I was younger, and I rebought it again to kind of go through it, and I only got like halfway through. Because people kind of dog on this one a little bit, especially because this is kind of in line with like Sticker Star, like around then when it came out, in terms of like, oh, Paper Mario's kind of falling off a bit and using dumb mechanics, because people don't like the battle system in this because it's not like Thousand Year Door where it's like true turn based. And I kind of agree at like replaying it because this battle system isn't the best. But I really love the art style, the different music in this. It's definitely one I want to try to go back and finish because I like this compared to most other Mario games, and I've gone back and dabbled a bit with the original Paper Mario on N64 and Thousand Year Door. Haven't beaten either of them. I do like Thousand Year Door though. That's one I do want to kind of go back and try finishing, because it's Thousand Year Door, and I think the new one was like okay from what I saw, and then they remade they obviously remade Thousand Year Door as well. But yeah, Mario Kart Smash. And then the next one, we have Shovel Knight for the Wii U. This is one that I've always wanted to play Shovel Knight because it's it looks like old school NES kind of style platformer, but it was made in like the newer age. And I think I randomly got a Wii U version because I told myself I was probably going to get a PC version because the keys are like a lot cheaper, but I ended up getting a Wii U version of it that I don't know if it has everything. I'm pretty sure this is just basic Shovel Knight. Yeah. But I'm glad I have this so I just can play it whenever I want, like on the Wii U. I need to set up the Wii U again though because I haven't used it in a while. But yeah, even though I have a lot of nostalgia for the system. Then we got Splatoon, of course. A lot of Wii U users played Splatoon around then, and I played this. Weird thing about this is I played this after its prime, and it was still really populated. Like you could have still found servers when I was playing it, and I definitely played it a lot. I didn't beat the story mode for this, but I played a lot of the multiplayer. It was really fun, and Splatoon is one that I've had like a weird relationship with because I didn't play 2. I didn't play Splatoon 2. And instead just rebought the original one when Splatoon 2 was out. And then when Splatoon 3 came out, I was kind of excited for it, kind of not. And I ended up buying Splatoon 3 and skipping over 2. And I played the multiplayer a little bit and had fun when I played it, but I kind of just fell off of it after a little bit. And I ended up being the single player the single player part for Splatoon 3. And then just kind of stopped. But yeah, I really enjoy Splatoon and the series. I just don't think I've played it as much as I feel like I could have. And then the last Wii U game is Super Mario Maker in this kind of like cardboard like box sleeve kind of thing. That's just kind of cool. I don't really remember this one all too much or have many like big emotions for this one because I remember seeing it when it came out and all the different commercials and stuff. And being like really excited because like, oh, you can make your own Mario levels. And then I didn't really like get as much out of this as I guess I thought I would, or didn't really play it as much as that. I did make levels and had fun with them, but I didn't really make as many as I thought I would looking back on it. And I didn't use online like too much. So it's kind of a weird title for me. I've seen Super Mario Maker 2 looks really good, and I kind of wonder if they'll do a Mario Maker 3 for Switch 2. But it's one I don't really go back to or think about as much, but it has its place in my Wii U library. And I think we're almost getting done here. Pretty much last stuff would be Switch stuff, which I don't collect Switch games as much because they're a lot smaller than regular game cases, so it makes it kind of a bit more like less likely that I'm going to buy them, even though I care about the games more. But it's just I like when the games feel more substantial when I pay like more for them. I had more Switch games, but this was around the time where I was still selling games to get new games, so I don't have any. Like I had Pokemon Sword, and I ended up selling that one. I had Smash Brothers Ultimate and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I wasn't really into either of those at the time when I played them. So I ended up selling those. So I have 4 left here. We got Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is a game I've also kind of gone back in and out of. It's a very cozy game. It's just a kind of like relaxing vibe where you could just spend hours and hours, and people have spent hundreds and hundreds of hours playing this and just building up their island and their character. And I haven't really played it to that same length. I played like the intro of it so many different times, and like definitely I see why people love this game. I just never fully like got as like addicted or compelled into it as I feel like other people did. But it's one I want to either go back to, or I've always wanted to go back to either this one or the GameCube one, on the original one. So it'll be really interesting to know if I get into this one or if I get into the GameCube one first. But I have it in case I want to try it out. Luigi's Mansion 3. I was pretty much just talking about the Luigi's Mansion games and my how much I love them. Luigi's Mansion 3 is no different. It's got so much style. It looks fantastic for a Switch game. It's definitely not the one I think about the most compared to the other two, like Dark Moon and 1. But it's got great music. It's got great design. It definitely kind of leads more into like a traditional like Mario game kind of vibe, where like every floor of the hotel is like a different world kind of thing. And I think that's what a lot of people had some problems with. Not everyone, because everyone still says that this is a really good game, but people did kind of feel like it didn't feel like as kind of grounded as something like the original Luigi's Mansion did, where it's like that felt like an actual mansion with like different rooms that didn't always feel different from one another, but they felt like real in a way. But I love Luigi's Mansion 3, and really hope for Luigi's Mansion 4 at some point in the Switch 2's life. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is a fun one where I've gone back and played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe a lot. Especially, I mainly have memories of playing this when random people were over, or random people my age when I was younger, and I would just break this out. But I didn't really have too much love for this game, really. Mainly because like I didn't always have people to play it with, and when I did have people to play with, it was just kind of like, it was like kind of mediocre experience. So that kind of sucks that I didn't really get as great of an experience with this as many other people did. I will say though, I am way more excited for Mario Kart World, and I hope maybe that will be the one that I can kind of get back into Mario Kart with. So yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's still really good. Obviously, there's a lot of content in this that gives you from the Wii U version, but it just didn't really do a lot for me, I guess. And then, of course, Super Mario Odyssey. Great, fantastic 3D Mario game. You know, you going everywhere, Cappy. The thing you notice about this game, though, is that compared to the other 3D Mario games, it's not really talked about or looked back on as much. And I really wonder why that is, because I never really figured out why, like, this one... Because even for me, I don't go back and play this one as much as the other ones. And I don't really know why, even though it's a fantastic game and everyone should play it. But I don't know. So it's a weird one with this one. But I love it either way. Mario Odyssey. That is all in terms of Nintendo stuff. So now we move on to Sega stuff, which is pretty much mainly just Sega Genesis with like one other thing in here that we'll get to. So I have... Oh god, hold on. So I have Sega Genesis games both in box and just cartridges. So we're going to start with just the cartridges. Now, Sega Genesis isn't really a library of games that I've played as much. Like, compared to everything here, it's kind of more in line with Game Boy, where like I'm trying to kind of get into them more, but just haven't really got... Well, more than Game Boy. I'm way more interested in Genesis than I am Game Boy, but... because I only recently got a Sega Genesis, like a real one. Like a real, I forget if it's Model 1 or Model 2. But I got it on Christmas, so like a couple months ago. And even then, I haven't played it like a ton. I played it a couple times, but it's one that I really need to sit down with and play more, because I have a pretty decent library here. A lot that I do remember and a lot I don't remember or don't really care about, but we'll kind of go through them. First here we have Superman by Sunsoft. I don't really know too It definitely has cool art, I will say that, even if I don't know a lot about these. It wouldn't surprise me if this was like a game that was kind of like a lot of the licensed games at the time, where like this was also on like Super Nintendo or something, and they were just totally different games. But yeah, Superman. We got Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures. I forget if this is I think this is a 2D platformer. I think. Like a 2D side-scroller. Because every time I think of this, I think of like Pac-Man World. Or I forget what it's called. Maybe Pac-Man World, I think. Which is the 3D one. And it kind of gets mixed up with this. But obviously, I haven't tried enough to really give too much of an opinion. But out of all of the ones so far, I would probably go through that one, in terms of like older ones from that generation. Then we got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I remember watching it when I was little. I haven't played the game. That's about it. I think a friend of mine had like a Power Rangers game. I forget what it was. This is one I forgot I had or didn't even realize I had. Fatal Fury 2. I definitely want to actually play this one because, like, this is one of the more interesting fighting games that I've been interested in, and I didn't know I had this for the longest time. So now that I have a Genesis, I definitely want to pop this in and see if I can play it because I have a 6-button Genesis controller as well, so that should make fighting games easier. But I'm really glad I have this one because I don't know too much about SNK and like the Fatal Fury series, but it's one I've kind of wanted to try, especially because I believe Marvel did or not Marvel, Capcom did a collaboration with SNK called Capcom versus SNK, and I believe they're coming out with a collection, or it's already came out of that. So I definitely want to give Fatal Fury a shot. Yeah. Then we got Vector Man, another one I don't know anything about other than Vector Man, if that's Vector Man. He looks very cool. And yeah. And then for the last of the loose ones we have Earthworm Jim, another one I really want to go back and play. I played a bit of Earthworm Jim, and it's a pretty fun 2D platform with a lot of this like zany kind of humor and graphics, and it's just a fun time pretty much. So I definitely want to go back to this one. I recommend people try looking up Earthworm Jim. It is wild. It's got that very 90s kind of like aesthetic, that 90s barf humor and gross out kind of stuff. I think this dude, the dude who made this or directed this, I forget who. I believe he went on to make another. He went on to make one of my favorite games that we'll probably see here. Maybe not in this video, but in another part where I'm talking about like PC games that everyone will see. So yeah, that's all my loose ones that I got, which is pretty cool. And now we move on to the ones in box. And I'm really happy I'm starting to collect Genesis games in box because they look really cool. Like really, really cool. Even though, fair warning for a lot of these, don't know anything about. So we'll see. First off, we got Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle. Never played an Alex Kidd game, but I do know that before kind of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sega kind of like tried using like this as like a bit of their mascot, or like they tried with a couple different ideas of what they wanted to like represent Sega, or when people saw the Genesis. And I think Alex Kidd was kind of one of them. I don't think this is not the original Alex Kidd, I don't think. Or maybe this. Maybe I'm just really stupid. Maybe this is the original one. Because I forget if Alex Kidd came out on the Master System or not before the Genesis. But either way, it looks really cool. Don't know if I'll ever really play it, but I like having it. Then next we got Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. If anyone has played this is kind of like a Puyo Puyo game, kind of similar to Tetris. I have played this. It's a fun Puyo Puyo game. I never beat it because it got really hard at one of the parts, and I'm also not the best at Puyo Puyo. But it is a fun game if you want something like Dr. Mario or Tetris or Luminous to kind of play, and also in the Sonic universe, which is kind of cool. And it kind of has art. The art on it is so cool. It has art from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the TV show. I don't know if that came first or if this came first, but it's got like Grounder and Scratch and all that, and it's just really cool. Genesis art was just better. They got so much better art back then, because nowadays a lot of art is just kind of used in like a template form where you have just a guy on the cover or something. It's not as interesting as like just these hand-drawn art with like different kind of like perspectives and angles. We have F-15 Strike Eagle 2. I don't know shit about this game, but the art looks really cool. It's giving Ace Combat, and it looks cool. That's about it. Then next we got whatever this is. It's called Flashback: The Quest for Identity. I don't even know what to gain from this cover or the back. Kind of looks like Fantasia for some reason. Yeah. Wait, did it say Marvel? I think this is Marvel related. I saw Marvel. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I have it. Like I said, a lot of these I haven't really tried or played or know anything about. But I hope at some point to kind of like dive into them. Another one called Hard Driving. Kind of looks like It's kind of giving Daytona a little bit. But yeah. Oh shit, this is way older. It's kind of got like the graphics on it. Like definitely an older kind of game in terms of looks. Then next we have, I don't know why this one is like a little bit thicker than the other Genesis boxes. We have Jungle Strike, the sequel to Desert Strike. I don't know anything about this other than the background is kind of giving like a mix of Metal Gear and Diablo 2. This one kind of interests me. I don't know much about this, but I don't know. It looks like a fun game. I don't know if this is like an arcade game or if this is like a game that actually has like much of an ending. But yeah. Then next we got Mickey Mania, the timeless adventures of Mickey Mouse. I haven't played this, but this, out of most of the Genesis games, I would also probably play because this looks really cool. The art on it looks so cool. It looks really fun. It looks like a fun 2D platformer. I might have seen this a couple times, actually, now that I think about it. Mickey Mania sounds kind of familiar. So yeah, I would give this a shot. It looks really cool. Next one. Oh, this is a fun, interesting one. Okay, so NHL 94. This is a hockey game for the Genesis. And normally I probably wouldn't care too much about it, but I actually kind of remember this a little bit because I would be very surprised if anyone really knew. But there was an old show called Gaming Show in My Parents' Garage. And I remember watching that when I was younger. And I think they showed this. They showed like two people playing this. And when I was younger, they made it look really fun. So this is probably one I would go back to and try again. And I got the manual and the case. Oh yeah, because I forgot. The EA was always trying to, oh god. EA was always trying to make their games look different. So this one has like a whole like yellow thing to it. And there was like a licensing thing that was happening back then. I forget exactly what it was. It was wild though. EA will keep being EA for as long as they live. Then we got Rocket Knight Adventures. Again, really fucking cool looking art. This is one I have actually seen gone around a lot more than the others. Like a 2D side scroller. It looks really fun. Cool art. You can order your official t-shirt, details inside. Wonder if that's still available. I don't know. We got Sonic Spinball. I have a lot of memories playing the first level of this when I was younger because I remember playing this at my grandma's house and just being kind of confused on like what to do because the controls are Sonic, but they're also not. It's because it's a pinball game, but it's like in Sonic because Sonic is the whole like casino kind of vibe in a lot of their games. And so it's like weird because it's like it uses Sonic's controls, but it's also like a pinball game as well. It's a weird one. But this is a good time. This can be a fun time. And it's got that quirky, kind of edgy Sonic where he looks so determined but also kind of like cocky. Oh god, I can't put this back in. Okay, so here's the thing with the next two titles. Sonic 1 and 2, of course. The thing about these is that I don't have the game for either of these. I just have the case. I think the games were lost, which is really sad because the Sonic trilogy for Genesis has its problems for sure. It has a lot of jank to it, and other than the third game, there is no save system. But they just, they're Sonic the Hedgehog, so it's like I want to have these and just be able to play them whenever. I specifically really want to find a box copy of Sonic 3 because out of all of these, because I've beaten Sonic 1, I haven't beaten Sonic 2. I got really close, but died, and there was no save system. But Sonic 3 is the one that I would probably go back to the most of these three. One, because it has a save system, and it has a lot more like vibrant like colors and kind of like art style that I feel like I would like. So I definitely want to get a copy of Sonic 3 and kind of like finish off the trilogy, kind of like the Mario games on the NES. So yeah. Oh, and here's another. Okay, so I was just talking about Street Fighter. After I got Street Fighter 2 for Super Nintendo, I got Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition for Genesis because this is the one that came out on Genesis. And it was just really cool to have this because now I own two versions of Street Fighter 2, which is kind of fun. And I'll probably give this one a shot. I think I've tried this one already on the 30th anniversary collection, but I want to try it on like an actual Genesis, where I think this one makes so you can play as like Bison and Vega and Balrog and Sagat and all that. So that's really cool to have, and the art looks really cool with Guile and Bison on the front. Very snazzy. We got T2, the arcade game. I love Terminator, the Terminator series, so this would probably be a really fun time. I think it's just an arcade shooter. It has like mix of side scrolling and like just shooting people in first person, so I'm not sure. I know the Terminator games because I remember seeing the Angry Video Game Nerds video on this, and he made them look kind of like interesting and fun, but also kind of horrible. So this is one I would probably pop in because I like Terminator 2. There is a new Terminator 2 game coming out called Terminator like 2D, like No Fate or something Fate. And that looks really, really good. Like that looks like what a lot of the Terminator games on like from this time should have been. So I'm really excited to play that one. Then we got The Lion King, which I have actually 2 copies of because I forgot I had one of these copies, and when I got the Genesis for Christmas, I was given this one as well, not remembering that I had this one. So that's a fun one. So now I have 2 copies of Lion King on Genesis. I haven't played them, mainly because when I got them, I hadn't watched Lion King yet, but I think it was like, I forget if it was a similar situation to Aladdin, where Super Nintendo and Genesis versions were different. But I was like, I like the Aladdin one, so I was like, I want to play the Lion King one. And I finally watched the Lion King movie. Great movie. So now I'm hoping to kind of get back in and try these games out. And then we got Aladdin for Genesis. As I was saying, I beat the Aladdin on Super Nintendo, and it was really fun. Loved that game. I played Aladdin on Genesis. I played it when I got my Genesis. It's one of the few Genesis games I've played. It's definitely I definitely like the Super Nintendo version more. Like I said, this has animators from Disney. I'm pretty sure who worked on this, and it focuses more on combat, which is kind of cool. It has no password system or save system, which is really annoying because the Super Nintendo version at least had password system, and that's what helped me get through it. But this game didn't. So I got like really close to the end while trying to beat this. Got really close to the end and died, and had to start back over from the beginning. So I still haven't gone back and actually given this game a beat, but I probably will because I got really close the first time, and it's still pretty fun. It's still a pretty fun time. And then last Genesis game, I believe, unless I'm missing one. I don't think I'm missing one though. Last Genesis game is Miss Pac-Man. It's Miss Pac-Man. The art looks really, really cool though. But Miss Pac-Man's kind of a funny story because I think that there's like a legal kind of thing with Miss Pac-Man at the moment where I could be wrong about this, but basically I think the story behind Miss Pac-Man was that like it was kind of like a ROM hack on the original Pac-Man made by like a couple of people. And I guess instead of suing them, I guess Namco just decided to release Miss Pac-Man. But I guess nowadays they don't want to really touch Miss Pac-Man because in case of any like legal things going on. And I think they tried like rebranding her a bit. But it's cool just to have a version of Miss Pac-Man because I don't actually own one. So because you don't realize you want to play these games, or like that you don't have versions of these games until you want to play them. And it's like, oh, I want to play the original Pac-Man. It's like, oh, I don't really own like an actual way to play the different like original Pac-Man. Obviously, you can find it like other places, but like the point is that like I just like having these games for whenever I want to play them, and also just because there's a lot of stories to tell, like with what I'm doing with these different ones. So yeah. And then the final Sega game, I believe, again, unless I'm missing one, is one that actually isn't in its original case. It's in a white case here, but this is Seaman for Dreamcast, which a lot of people will have no fucking clue what Seaman is. And that's because it's the weird-ass game for the Dreamcast that was kind of like a pet simulator. And you use like a microphone to like talk to animals and stuff. It was a weird game, but it was so weird that I wanted to check it out. And I don't own a Dreamcast, sadly. That is another one that I want to try to get here soon. But Dreamcast games are expensive. So a friend of mine had Seaman. I think they found it or something like that. And the same friend that got me Mortal Kombat for the DS. And again, this was another situation where I forget if I paid this or if she got this for me. Again, thank you either way. So yeah, it's one I haven't gotten yet or haven't played yet because I don't have a Dreamcast. But I hope to get a Dreamcast here soon to fix that. Look up Seaman if you are very curious because it is a weird game. So yeah, I think that's about it in terms of Nintendo and Sega stuff. I definitely want to try to upgrade the collection at some point, but I'm happy with what I have right now. And the next part, we will probably either do PlayStation or Xbox or PC games. So yeah.